Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of the Cancer. No, good evening, not good evening. Uh, sorry, such a goofball. Welcome to this edition of the Cancer Coach Talks. I'm your host, Leslie Nance, and tonight we will be discussing a very important topic. You guys ask me a lot about this information, and we're talking about health jealousy and that little or sometimes big green monster that is totally holding you back in your healing. Yes, I just said that it is holding you back in your healing. We're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about identifying it, what it is, and then I'm going to just give you a few tips about what you can do to solve that problem. As always, you can find more about me at go2kitchens.com, go2kitchens.com. Of course, I interact with this group almost every single day, so you can get a lot of information there as well. And I do these talks on Tuesdays and Thursday nights at around it was a few minutes late tonight, around 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So make sure that you have the notifications turned on for this group so that you get a fair warning that I have gone live, and you'll get little reminders too. Like, don't forget that you have this event tonight in your Facebook feed. So make sure that you have those notifications turned on. And to do that, you just go right up in the group. You just go right up. I think it's on the left-hand side, and click status of notifications, and you can turn those on or off. And if you have them on, you'll always get a notification when I've gone live. So let me welcome a couple of people here tonight. I see that Debbie is with us tonight. Welcome, Debbie. Thank you so much. Just did an amazing interview with Debbie this week on Monday. I cannot wait to share it with you guys. Debbie works with beatcancer.org, which is where I actually got my certification to be a holistic cancer coach. So super excited to have Debbie here. Matthew's here. Hi, Matthew. So happy to have you here this evening. Hi, Dee. It's good to see you. Hi, Dee. Okay, sorry. So thank you guys so much for joining in tonight. Okay, so let's just get down to business and get started, because this is kind of a long topic, and I want to make sure that I honor your time tonight and not go over like I have been doing the last couple of weeks. So by the way, Thursday night we're talking about those vitamins that maybe you've never heard of, like vitamin L and vitamin S. What are those? Those are absolutely free vitamins that I am going to be giving away on Thursday night. You do not want to miss that. Hi, Kimberly. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for joining in tonight. So at some point, most of us in our cancer journey has said a statement similar to the one that I am about to make. And that is, I have always been healthy. I have always been healthy. I can't imagine why I have cancer. I've always taken really good care of myself. And so over there, whoever so-and-so is, that's what my mom would say. And so over there doesn't pay any attention to their health, and they eat like crap, and they smoke, and they drink, and they run around with people who do. That's what my Nana would say. My Nana used to say, you don't drink, you don't smoke, and you don't run around with people who do. That's such a Texas thing. Anyway, so hi, Kathy. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Oh my goodness, so many lovely people in here today. But we've said, hi, Grace. Thank you for being here. But you've probably said that at some point, or you've seen somebody that have healed themselves of cancer, and although you're kind of happy for them, at the same time, you're like, why can't I do that? I have been trying to do that for years. Some of you have been on years and years of a journey trying to heal your body of cancer. And you wonder, why can some people heal and I can't seem to do that? And I was having a conversation with Anne, and Anne actually posted it in the event link tonight. And Anne and I were talking about last week of the fact that she's actually mourning some of the food that she used to love, feeling like she can't eat it anymore. And she feels sad about that, especially when she sees other people eating it. And so there's all types of jealousy that come, even if you're like this amazingly positive, supportive, like on the ball person, you still have these emotions. I still have these emotions. I remember knowing people that I knew did not take care of their body. And these were people that I loved, like people that I loved and cared about, that I knew that they did not take care of their body. And they never had cancer. Why in the world do I have cancer? And the first thing I want to say about this is a stumbling block to your healing. You are going to find it very difficult to promote healing in your body when you have these types of negative emotions. And the negative emotions that come from this are resentment and even anger. And we get disappointment from this type of envy. We have tons of emotions that run the gamut of why me? Why now? Why do I have cancer? How in the world did I get cancer and this person did not, and this person doesn't have it, or this person survived it? This person doesn't have stage 4, and I'm taking better care of myself and I have stage 4. What is up with that? As long as you harbor that emotion, you are going to have a hard time healing. Now, as a holistic cancer coach, trained to speak to people about their mindset, about what is holding them back, my, who I respect as my mentor, Dr. Susan Silberstein, will say that it may not be what the person's eating, but what's eating them. Hello? This is a big warning sign that is flashing over your diagnosis, saying you must get control of this emotion. Everybody with me? You guys are quiet tonight. Everybody must be like, is she talking to me? Are you guys all doing that right now? Are you like, what is she like in my head? Get out of my head, Leslie. So tonight I want to talk about that belief and that emotion. We're not going to validate it, by the way. I'm not going to say, oh, it's very normal, or it's okay, everybody does it. We're not going to validate it. We're going to talk about what it is, right? As Grace is saying, that's one thing I don't have. I love it, Grace. Hi, Grace. It's good to see you. Right? We're going to talk about this emotion, and we're going to talk about what it is that is so dangerous about it. And then I'm going to give you some steps to overcome it. Because I never like throw a problem in front of you and then don't give you some ideas about how to fix it. Okay? All right. So one of the biggest problems with this mindset is that you truly do not believe that you can have what that person has, whether it's health, right? Whether it's health, whether it's wellness, whether it's being cancer-free, whether it's beating cancer. You truly do not believe down deep inside. Hi, Ann, I was just talking about you. But you truly believe down deep inside that you cannot possess what that person has. And in this case, it's health. Now you can see right there where that becomes a big flashing warning sign. Because if you do not ignite your brain for healing, I feel like I'm really short tonight. If you do not ignite your brain, for healing, how in the world do you think it's ever going to happen? Maybe it's not what you're eating. Maybe it's what's eating you. You can tell I was talking about you, right? This type of mindset is not a healing mindset. It will keep you firmly in your suffering. So let me say that again. Deep down inside, if you harbor this emotion, right? If you harbor this emotion deep down inside, you know, or you think, not even that you know, but you think that you can't have what that person has, whether it's total health, whether it's optimal health, whether it's healing from cancer, whether it's living footloose and fancy free, whatever it is, normality, whatever it is that you're jealous of, you believe that you cannot achieve it. And that takes you right out of a healing mindset. Goodbye. See you later, healing mindset. Oh, Mary Beth, I'm so glad you found me too. Thank you so much. You just made my night. Thank you for saying that. Okay, second part of that. Second part of that is you are having a hard time deciding what you are grateful for. If you are spending a lot of time worrying about what everybody else is doing and what's happening to everybody else and why can't that be you and why haven't I ever experienced that and why can't I have that and why isn't this and why isn't that, you are not spending enough time in gratitude. You are having a hard time understanding what to be grateful for. I see this a lot. And people think it's crazy town to find gratefulness in cancer. They're like, how do you find I have cancer? How can I, how can I be grateful? How about being grateful that you woke up, that your two eyes popped open this morning, and that you were able to get out of bed, and that you were able to, whatever it was that you did in the day. What about being grateful that you're not 6 feet under? There's always something to be grateful for. But you are struggling with finding gratitude if you have these emotions of resentment and anger and disappointment and envy and jealousy. There's always something to be grateful for. What if you, instead of having these negative emotions, you shared gratitude for that person's health? We're going to talk about that in just a second. But let me be firm in saying, if you are struggling being envious of somebody else's situation, whether it's health or financial or whatever it is, cancer-free, eats like crap, doesn't have cancer, whatever it is that you are finding yourself in that jealous mindset of, you are holding yourself back from total and optimal healing. Your healing flames are not on. Your pilot light might be on, but they're not ignited. So let me give you some steps to correct this. Now, these are very high-level steps because right? You know that I do not give out Band-Aids for cancer because that's ridiculous. So I do not hand out Band-Aids. So I'm going to give you some high-level tips. If you listen to these tips and you're like, okay, I need to know more about this, like I'm really struggling, like this is one thing that I am like fully struggling with, then it's time for a phone call with me. I'll say it again. The phone calls are absolutely free. They're 45 minutes long. It's for you and I to make a determination if there is something that I can do to help you, because you need to believe I can help you just as much as I believe I can help you. It needs to be a two-way street. It's completely free. So just keep that phone call is complete 45 minutes with me, one-on-one, completely free. So if you're struggling with this and these tips do not satisfy, then it's time to make that phone call. So here's the tips. Number one, you need to understand your envy. You got to sit beside the green monster. You got to look at the green monster in the eyes and you got to say, what's up? What's going on? What's happening? Why do I have this? Why is this happening to me? Why do I feel so much resentment and anger and disappointment in this situation? You got to have a hard look at what is going on. You need to understand. And here's the other thing. When people say this to me and they're like, I know these people and, so-and-so, and they smoke and they drink and they don't eat well and they don't have cancer. I just don't understand why I have cancer. I've always taken pretty good care of myself. You don't know the whole story. That person that drinks and smokes and doesn't take care of themselves, or, doesn't pay attention, has probably not been to the doctor in a very long time. You don't know what's brewing underneath underneath that situation. You have no idea. You don't know their personal story. You don't know if they've been to the doctor 300 times in the past year. You don't know if they're suffering with chronic illness. Maybe it's something they're not telling you about, right? That's right. I love that. Always something to be grateful for. Absolutely. I love that, Grace. I love that. So you need to get one-on-one with understanding where your envy and your jealousy is coming from. And the other step to that, one of the biggest steps to that, is always recognizing that you have a problem. You have a problem. If you're positive everywhere in your life and every time you see, so this is, I'll tell you a little personal story about me. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, this is like TMI, but it's okay because I'm like full on like too much information girl. Like that should just be like on my business card. By the way, I'm going to give you too much information. Too much personal information from me at all times. But I mean, this is a good description of what went on, what went down. So I love my breast. I love them. I really did not get breast until I was like 21 or 22 years old. Like I was like almost flat chested. And then all of a sudden here comes these boobs. And I'm like, what, where did these come from? And I was so happy. And so literally, I think that because I have not had them my whole life and I'm 48 years old, I feel like my boobs are only like 25 years old. They're like 25, 26 years old. So I love my boobs. Okay. And when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, they were talking about, removing them. And their whole thing was, thank you guys for laughing at me because it's kind of personal, but I'm, this is a private group. So let's just share it down. Although this is probably going to go on YouTube and like the whole world to hear me say that, but whatever. But I was really disappointed in the idea of, and they're like, oh, you get shiny new ones. We can give you brand new breasts and we can make them look like anything that you want them to look like. And they're going to be great and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and then I talked to some people and they're like, well, you do know that you don't have any sensation in your breasts when you get new ones. And I'm like, what? And so it was a big disappointment for me. Like I was not worried about losing my hair. I was kind of interested to see what I was going to look like bald. That was not a big concern for me. My biggest concern was removing my breasts. And so finally, when I spoke to several doctors that told me that my chances of reoccurrence didn't really change whether I had my breasts or not, and that a lumpectomy was okay for me to do. I was so happy. But during that time period of thinking I wasn't going to have any, I was going to have to get new breasts, and I had even considered just staying flat because I just didn't want to deal with all that, like the reconstruction and all the stuff that comes along with that. So anyway, so there's a lot of things swirling around in my head. But every time I saw a woman with boobs, which is like every woman, I was like, "Urgh, urgh. She gets to keep her boobs and I don't get to keep mine." It was just so angry. I would watch TV and I would see these women in these like bathing suits or bra commercials or whatever. And I'm like, and I was just so envious. And this was something that I needed to work through. This is something that I had to learn and challenge myself and stare at the green monster and say, okay, what is really the concern here? And honestly, my biggest concern was vanity. My biggest concern was my sex life with my husband. My biggest concern was my sex appeal as a woman. I mean, I had lots of concerns. And it's not that I think that because you have boobs that you're less of, or don't have boobs that you're less of a woman. I don't identify with that at all. I just really liked them. These are my boobs. I really liked them. I wanted to keep them. So there's an example of that. So understanding your envy and understanding where it's coming from is really important to start that healing process of that, right? Number 2, what are your own capabilities? What if you started instead of focusing on what other people are capable of, which is, eating a crap diet and not getting sick, or having boobs and getting to live with them, or healing themselves from cancer and not having cancer anymore. What are your own capabilities? What if you put all that energy that you were spending in that mindset into your own capabilities? What if you had an energy shift and you said, instead of dwelling on what I don't have and what others do have, what if you channel all that into, what is it that I can do? What are the things that I can do to ignite those healing properties in my body? And one of them may be getting rid of the jealousy, getting rid of the envy. What are your own measurements of success? I think that that's super, super important. Number 3 is, what if you obsessed about what you want from life? For some of you, it's to be cancer-free. Some of you already have that. Maybe it's to help others. Maybe it's to travel the world. Maybe it's to start a new career. Maybe it's to move to another city. Maybe it's to be able to care for your grandchildren. Maybe, whatever it is. What about if you spent the energy obsessing about what your goal was and what you wanted out of life? Again, it's another energy shift. And I will tell you, anytime you know exactly what you want, you will get it. I have a business coach that always says, if you focus only on victory, God will force you to succeed. I love that. What if instead of spending all this time worrying and freaking out and all these things that come with a cancer diagnosis, what if you focused on the very thing that you wanted and you obsessed about that? It would force you to succeed. Just your subconscious at that point would force you to succeed. Number 4, it's time to transform. This is the most important step in my opinion. It's time to transform that envy. I've given you some tips about maybe how to transform it. But instead of being jealous, when you feel jealousy kind of well up inside of you, what if instead, and we'll just use my boob example again, what if when I saw those, and this is actually what I did, what if when I saw those women, other women with nice boobs, and that jealousy started to like well up inside of me, what if instead of going, dang, I'm not going to have my boobs and I'm really sad and I'm really jealous that they get to keep theirs and I don't get to keep mine. What if instead I said something like, gosh, they have really nice boobs. That's really weird for me to say, but that's okay. But they have really nice boobs. And I hope that, I pray that they stay beautiful forever. I pray that their breast health is just forever wonderful. I mean, how awesome is it that they have something so beautiful? What if instead of being jealous of somebody's crappy diet and thinking, well, I can't eat like that anymore, and I'm sad I can't eat like that anymore. What about if instead of, like Anne said, mourning that, what if instead that you shifted that mindset and you said, I just pray over their diet. I just speak, health over their diet. And I pray that they never, ever have cancer despite how they take care of their vessel. Do you see that energy shift? That is a huge energy shift. And I have to tell you a little story about my mom. My mom is the most precious human being in the whole of the world. I know that you all think that about your mom, but you don't know my mom. She is truly the most precious human being. Everybody that meets her is like, I just love your mom. I'm like, I know, she's amazing. And I remember as a little girl, I grew up in a Christian home, and I remember as a little girl that, hi, Nancy, it's good to see you, right? Plan for your future. I love that. But I remember as a little girl, my mom had a house that she loved. We would drive by this house. It was actually the next door house to us, but we would drive by this house, or we would whatever. And she would speak over that house. Lord, I know one day that that is going to be my house. And I pray that the people that own it get a bigger and better house. I pray that they get a house that they love, that they are so excited about moving into. And she up leveled those people in her thoughts. Instead of going, man, I really love that house, and those stupid people are living in my house, and they're not even taking care of it, because they weren't, but they're not even taking care of it like they should be. And that's my house. Instead of saying that, she would say, I just pray that they find something better. I pray that they get to live somewhere of their dreams, that they find a house that is just so extraordinary. And I can remember as a little girl, by the way, she lives in that house now. She spoke it over herself, and she now lives in that house, right? There you go. I love that, Anne. But what if you up-leveled your conversation? Instead of the conversation running around in your mind of, ugh, well, it's really great that those people healed, and I don't, whatever. And you have that jealousy, like you're happy for them, but at the same time, you're like, why can't I heal? What if you instead celebrated their healing? Said, I just continue to thank you for blessings and profound healing in their life for the rest of their life, so that they never have to deal with cancer again. Do you see that powerful shift? It sweeps jealousy right out. There's no room for it. It just takes it out. And eventually it's going to rip it out by the roots. It's going to absolutely, right? It's going to rip it out by the roots. It's so powerful. It's absolutely powerful. So, in closing, I just want to say your healing power increases with the reduction of the negative emotions of jealous, envy. I have to look at my notes to make sure I say them all. Resentment, anger, and disappointment. If you want to increase the healing power in your body, you will let those things go. And not only will you let them go, you will pray blessings over those people where you find envy over, those people that you're envious of. You will let those people inspire you to do better. One of the things that happens in business a lot is that we see, we especially if you're in a mastermind or something like that, you see businesses that are like boom, 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 like succeeding, and you're like, man, it's so great, but dang, why isn't that happening to me? What's going on? And you start internalizing it like you're doing something wrong. But you know what? You know what I do? I let those people inspire me. Instead of being jealous of them, I'm like, all right, if they can do it, I can do it. So what did they do? And I start figuring it out. I start figuring out what my next steps are that are applicable to me. Right? For some of you, you may be like watching people in this group and they're getting good reports, and all of this is happening, and you're thinking, what's that common denominator? It might be that they're working with me. It's quite possible that they're in my coaching program. Because we see a lot of reversals. We see a lot of people that are having remarkable results in their cancer journey. What is the next step? Okay, maybe the next step is I need to get on the phone with Leslie and figure out if there's something she can do to help me. And if not, maybe she can point me in the right direction. And so instead of letting those people oppress me and hold me down, I let them elevate me. I let them raise me and vibrate me to a higher level, so that I can achieve the success that I am after. I do that in my health. I do that in my relationships. I do that in my business. I do that with my family. I do that with everything. I let people that are doing better than me, I let them elevate me. Right? Oh, thank you, Dee. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be in your life as well. I'm happy to have you in mine, right? All right. So there you go this evening. If you are struggling and you can't find a way out, I don't care what if it is, whether it's jealousy or food or whatever it is, and you need that next level information, you need that next level step in your life, it's time to make a phone call. It's time to book a call. Certified holistic cancer coach, certified nutritionist, blah, 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 on and on, all these wonderful certifications. But really, the only thing that you need to know is that when I work with a client, we work towards results. And a large percentage of those clients are getting those results. Those things that you talk about, those things that you need and want, that information that you're just like clawing at, trying to find, I can help you with that. So I want to invite you, if you have not already, I know a lot of you have, if you have not already, it's super simple. All you have to do is go to this website. Oops. Oh, I can't type. I never can. Why don't I copy and paste this? It would be so much easier. GO2 kitchens.com/apply. When you do that and you book an appointment with me, you are going to, I don't know if I have appointments even this week. It's probably going to be into next week and possibly into the week. Not completely sure. I think it's probably into next week right now. But when you book an appointment with me, there's going to be a form that pops up and says, hey, fill out these questions. Fill out that form, because when you fill out that form, that actually helps me help you much faster. We can get to the root issue like that. We can work really, really hard in a very quick amount of time to figure out what it is that you need help with. Okay. And if you're right for my program and you think it's right and I think it's right and we are in agreement, then we'll move forward with that. If not, I'm going to give you a bunch of resources so that you can find the information that you're looking for. Sometimes I talk to people. I talked to 2 people today, and both of them were on a great path. And it was just as simple. You're on an amazing path. Keep going. And sometimes it's like, holy moly, I'm so excited. I can totally help you, and I can't wait to work with you. And so that's the benefit of making that phone call. That phone call is completely free. We spend half hour, 45 minutes on the phone. So love, love, love. If you have time and you want to do that and you need some help, you're ready to take the next step, I am here for you. I will be back on Thursday. We're talking about, I'm going to be giving away actually some free vitamins. They're absolutely free, and they're vitamin L and vitamin S. So join me on Thursday right here in this group, same time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and I will share with you those secrets that I have, those vitamin secrets that I have. This is amazing supplementation. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night tonight. Love you so much. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Be sure to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. Check out the website, go2kitchens.com. And if you've not watched the webinar, let me put the link for that. If you've not watched this, hold on, /. If you've not watched this training, which is completely free, if you've not watched that, if you're not registered and watched that training, you need to go watch it. It's like you just click on it, you register for it, and boom, it's like this completely free training. So go check that out, right? Oh, I love that, Anne. Thank you so much. You actually inspired this talk tonight. So everybody give Anne a big round of applause, because Anne actually inspired this conversation tonight. She and I were talking a couple of weeks ago, and I knew that this was something that needed to be talked about. And it's so great because when I'm working with clients, Anne is one of my clients, and when I'm working with clients and I hear their concerns, I know that it's not just theirs. I know that a lot of people struggle with that information. And so super happy to share that out tonight. So, right. Yeah. So thank you, Anne, for the inspiration. Love, love, love it. All right, you guys have a fantastic, excuse me. Yes, that's 8 p.m. Eastern. Yep. There you go. 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 and 8, as long as I'm not traveling. I will be traveling at the end of this month though. We start on the 31st, and I will be back on the 8th. So we're going to be gone for about 11 days, or no, 10 days. Oh, anyway, we're going to be gone for a few days. So I will be traveling at the end of this month. So the end of this month, we'll be missing a couple of episodes, although I may pop on. It may not be like a little, like this kind of like a structured format. It may be more of a, like, just super fun, come see the beach with me, because we'll be at the beach. And so maybe it'll just be like a quick hello and come see the beach and just say hello and talk and chat and let me show you around a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, because it's 4 hours difference, 4 or 5 hours difference where we're going. So, all right, you guys, have a wonderful, blessed evening. I love you so much. Always saying prayers and loving each one of you. You can't imagine how many times that I mention a lot of your names in prayer and Thanksgiving for you being in my life. So yes. All right. I hope this inspired you tonight, and I hope that if you need to make that phone call, that you will book that appointment. Love to speak to any one of you. So, all right. Thank you guys. Bye. Good night. Bye.